Welcome back to Callahan's Corner, where you ask the questions, we answer them live right here on Facebook. So one of the questions submitted last week was, Mike, what is your prediction for the next shift in buying habits, and where do you think things are going? So we've always been an early adopter in my service businesses to kind of adopt and see where things were going. So very similar like Wayne Gretzky. He wanted to be where the puck was going to be, not where the puck was at right now. So in the early years, about 7 or 8 years ago, maybe even 9 years ago, we adopted automations in life cycle marketing. 4 to 5 years ago, we adopted conversational marketing and bots and automated pricing on our website and different platforms. So what my thought was, I'm starting to go out and take a look at it now. Okay, what is the next big shift in buying habits? So when we go in and take a look at Generation Z, that is definitely a new generational way of buying things. And if you look at Generation Z, they had never been really affected by 9/11. So that was a big thing, obviously, the way things were going on, the way people bought, all their interactions with that. Now, they did watch, basically through some economic hard times, watching their parents, saving money, grinding, working, and just kind of pounding it out. And now that you've got 23, 24 years old, they're starting to enter the workforce and starting to start buying things. And some of the interesting stats on Generation Z was that they will, basically, they don't trust the news sources. So they are more engaged on social media than any other generation. They grew up and were born with social media. They never knew a time where social media didn't exist. So what they're finding in some of the stats is that this new generation will actually trust a social icon like a Kylie Jenner or figurehead on social media as the expert and the go-to versus someone who'd been, literally studying that topic for 20 years, had a doctorate. So there's an interesting opportunity for service business owners. A lot of service business owners are starting to adopt to this. But as a service business owner, in my opinion, if you need and want to get ahead of Generation Z as they're starting to go out and get jobs and work, not only am I going to talk about how we can go out and sell services to them and the way they buy, but how do they actually go out and look for a job? And that's a big issue right now. Hiring. So the first thing I want to talk about is the actual sales process. So they are going to trust and know and like a figurehead on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever that is breaking it down and becoming that topic expert. So very similar to Callahan's Corner here, that Generation Z business owner, as they start to continue to grow their business, would probably trust me more than going to a college class and learning about entrepreneurship, because we built that. But along with that is you can't act like everything is all roses. And a lot of times in my videos, I do talk about some of the things we're lucky enough to get right, but other things we failed at, and this is how we fix them. So as you're building content for this next generation, we want to be able to talk about how it really is, and it's not a commercial. It's real life. This is how you do it yourself. And if you need some help, we're here for you. Now, the other interesting fact about this generation is that most generations previously, well, all generations previously, the influences come from the previous generation. What this Generation Z has actually been able to do is flip the switch. They actually will influence the generations above them. So by tapping into this market right now, they may not be ready to buy your services, but the way that and the information, the way they're digesting it through social is actually starting to trickle up to influence the older generations that are having that. So, and they're adopting technology. So it's very interesting that they may be engaging on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, but they know maybe their parents or grandparents are not engaging in those markets. So what they're actually doing is taking that URL or that content and sharing it via text or sharing it via email. So we're seeing a lot of content now from that generation being repurposed on other mediums. So it's not only enough as a sales and marketing person doing social right now to look at a return on investment engagement on the platform you're at, but it's very hard to track. But you do want to keep in mind that some of the stuff that we're creating here is being shared on different mediums that can't necessarily be tracked. So Gen Z is going to be actually going out and influencing the generations before them buying habits and decisions. So the last part I want to look at this here, which is huge, and it always has been huge, but now it's really interesting. I found the stat, I actually kind of staggered. Gen Z is likely to go out and search 4 to 5 times more reviews than any generation before it. So they trust the platform on social media because they've never known any different. So they're going to go out and check your Facebook reviews, your Google reviews, and they're going to ask their friends. So it's more important than ever to go out and get those reviews because this next generation is relying heavily on it. Now, where I want to go with that is not only are they more likely to check out 4 or 5 times more reviews than the previous generation, so they may be looking at 30, 40 reviews, and not only the good ones, but the bad ones, because they see through that. They've been through this. But they also are looking at help wanted ads for your business. So before they engage with a messenger bot to go sign up for an interview or fill out a form or an application online, this generation is going in and doing homework on your business and your culture. And what the research shows right now is that they're not looking for a picture perfect, must show up on time. That is not engaging this generation. They're aligning with like community service and different things like that. But as a business owner, you sometimes you have a bad breakup with an employee, and maybe it's not your fault, it's not their fault, but these are things I think basically, and I know that you really need to keep in mind, because this new generation now is searching those outlets and those reviews. And if you have a bad showing, that could lead to the ability or the inability to actually get new great rockstar employees. So as you're starting to break up with an employee that may not be a good fit, think about the repercussion and the trickle. So it may be a quick ripping off the Band-Aid to getting rid of this employee. The negative, having a bad breakup with that employee could affect you years to come. So we want to make sure that we are doing right by these employees when we let them go. So they may not be the right cultural fit. They may not have shown up on time, but we want to make sure that it's not having a negative effect on us down the line. So Gen Z is an interesting one, but if you haven't picked up the social game, in my opinion, it's not too late, because it's only becoming more important and pivotal in your business to sell services and to grow and stack your employee bench. Comments or questions, drop below. Callahan's Corner. You ask the questions, we answer them live right here on Facebook.